Captain Mohan to share their insights for aviation sector and also being a business owner for our MLM sector. How can coaching support both these sectors, and how are you utilizing the coaching skills, Captain, there? If you could throw some light on that.
Sure, Deep. Be more than happy. Whatever I say is certainly based on my own insight. So firstly, the aviation sector or any sector for the moment, I just would like to probably quote Pooja that is now talk about adaptability to change. In fact, there is a saying that say the only permanent thing in life is change, because it is always changing. Right? What we see at COVID-19 is a global pandemic, so we can talk the same language, but you go through the years, there has always been changes, and the people that fail to adapt to it get washed away. You get left behind. The people that are able to adapt to it, yeah, move on. So in the aviation industry, the same way, because aviation travel, okay, well, at least aviation travel, you know, some 70, 80 years ago is not the same as we saw just before COVID hit us. Think about the aviation traveling. It was taking people from place to place. Our forefathers, or not even far away, probably the level of our grandparents, and depending on our age, some of our parents, you know, from place to place, from India to Malaysia, they travel on cargo ships. Those days. There's no air travel. And then the cargo ships went into liners, and the rich and famous could do that. Where are the liners today? Correct? Since aviation took in, only the the very rich goes on a holiday, but it's a small number, but everybody uses air travel, right? Now, with COVID-19, correct? With the global pandemic that we have, I personally believe, yeah, when this is over, which it will, because nothing remains forever, but to dream that aviation will come back alive just like what it was before straight away, I doubt it. There must be changes, and we can see, all right, there are airlines that have just thrown in the towel and just shut down. There are airlines, I mean, if you are in the airline industry, if you're an employee, goodness, 50% pay cut, you are still laughing, correct? People are being being put into forced no pay leave because it's just a fact of business, correct? But then again, you look at some airlines and how they are coming back to the game. For example, I saw the advert on Air Asia, all right, that they took a proactive step. They said, okay, when we turn around the aeroplane, we're gonna clean. We're not gonna allow the people that clean the galley as the same people that clean the toilet, clean the cabin. We're gonna have 3 different teams. Now, they didn't have that before. They will want to have the fastest turnaround because that's money. But now they're willing to slow down, employ more people because that will give confidence. They will do temperature tests. Maybe they will even do swab tests before a passenger gets in. Now, for example, I don't think any one of us would want to get on a seat on an Airbus 330, let's say, with 300 over people jam-packed. Even if the airlines clean it all up, because you know that you need to protect yourself. So the airline has got to change. They're going to be, if they want to resume flying, they may have to limit the number of passengers. Now, you can't apply social distancing because 1.5 meters is literally one whole row of seats, or maybe even more. But they have to, because that's the only way they will bring confidence. So cost is going to be different. So how are they going to do this? Now, I think coaching comes into play. Because remember where you are and where you want to be. You want to go back to flying. So the heads, the management, the people inside there, they have got to be able to think outside the box. Now, just as what I share with you, it comes from my brains, looking back at history and how I move forward. So imagine if you can get the decision makers involved in this. And the best way I know is through coaching, because you are getting them to provide the solutions because they are the experts in that field. You just need to stretch their brains, okay? And the person that are able to adapt the changes. As for my business, that I'm in a wellness business, wellness company. So obviously, in these dire times, people appreciate wellness better. All right. So it's a lot easier for me. So I use my coaching skills to build entrepreneurs. All right. To guide them from where they are to where they want to be using coaching. But the platform is already there. Again, all right. Like everything in the world, even in the global pandemic, you have the potential losers, industries I'm talking about, and the potential winning industries. All right. But in these industries, there are people. There are people inside there. So it is important. I feel the coaching experience that I've held, you are able to get people to see how could they make that change, so that change, all right, they are able to accept it and be able to see results, to open up their minds. But again, I like to end by saying that it always takes two. That's why in coaching, there is two. All right. The coachee must be willing to want to find a solution. Only then a coach can be of help. So that's my input. I hope that answers your question, Jit.
Much beyond expectation, Captain. Thank you so much. You have certainly stretched our minds and raised our awareness to another level, pertaining to not only aviation, but also your current business, Meliluka, which is a MLM. And how are you applying coaching in there? It's so insightful to listen to you every time, as I mentioned before. It is more and more. I'm going deeper with my own knowledge about coaching. So thank you for bringing in your wisdom from there. So now we request Neetu. Neetu, being in insurance sector, and prior to which Pooja just mentioned that you both were in technology sector, how do you think coaching has enabled you to enable others? And how within insurance sector do you see the scope of coaching impacting people and performance?
Sure. So, I think with all this discussion, we have kind of well established that because, coaching is not really confined to a particular domain, a particular technology, or a particular function. Because the beauty of coaching is it keeps the coachee in the center. It's about where are you right now and where is it that you want to go. And this is, I would say, is the beauty of coaching. And hence I feel not only insurance, as Captain said, that in aviation, any other industry pretty much, I guess yes, especially because the kind of times that we're living in right now, looking at so many casualties around the world, there are so many deaths all around the world. Life insurance, where I work, it is definitely going to see a boom. And this is exactly what I was also reading about in the newspaper a few days back, that insurance prices are going to, soar high. But with that, I think there is absolutely a need to train the sales, rather coach sales force well, to be able to sell the right product to the right people, right? So that, in the time of need, they are able to get what they've insured themselves for. So I see a huge scope for sales coaching, their ability to ask right questions, to understand their needs, what kind of future they foresee for, their families, God forbid, after their deaths. So immense scope, their ability, we need to coach them to be able to make them ask right questions, to be able to kind of, get out from the people, what is it that they're actually looking for, where is it that they want to be, what is the kind of future that they see for their families. Uh, Hence, it becomes absolutely important, imperative to get these people trained on the coaching skills. Yes.
Thank you, Neetu. Thank you so much. Absolutely. It is democratic and it applies in every function, every industry. So thanks a lot for reiterating that fact and how you are utilizing. We loved your story as well before that you shared.